Military. RCMP. First responders. They are the ones who risk life and limb to aid others. But who helps the heroes? This week on The New Fly Fisher, host Colin McEwen joins Heroes Mending on the Fly Canada at Scotsman Point Resort on a mission to assist these brave veterans.
That is amazing.
There's a take. Oh, nice.
The power. All right.
The New Fly Fisher is made possible in partnership with Destination Ontario, Orvis Fly Fishing, Trout Unlimited, Rio Products, Oscar Blues Brewery, Global Rescue, Adipose Boatworks, WeatherTech Canada.
At The New Fly Fisher, we understand how fly fishing can be beneficial to the body and the mind. This week, we visit Scotsman Point Resort on a unique mission to bring this healing to injured and disabled veterans and first responders. Located in the Kawartha Lakes region of Ontario, Scotsman Point Resort hosts Heroes Mending on the Fly Canada, an organization supporting disabled veterans of the military, RCMP, and first responders through fly fishing and angling.
My name's Rob Benson. I've served 25 years in the Armed Forces. I did 12 years in Gagetown with 22 Field Squadron engineers and did a few RVs in Alberta and all that stuff, a couple of flyovers to Germany at the time. And then after that, I went to Halifax on the ships.
My name is John Mancini. I was in the Air Force of the Canadian Forces, but I've served in many different bases, and I completed 38 and a half years before I retired.
Lou Moffat, and I started off in the Navy, actually as a signalman. Did 7 years in the Navy. Came to the realization that going to sea was not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, so I decided to do a remuster, and I chose a trade called Airborne Electronic Sensor Operator. After my remuster, I was subsequently posted to Sea Kings for pretty much the rest of my career and right back to sea, and although it was a great go.
My name is Rob Martin. I was in the Canadian Army from 1976 to 2010.
Jamie Vavine. I was in the Canadian Army for 32 years, I guess. I just retired. My last day was the 23rd of September, although I'm still on leave from until the 20th of October.
My name is Richard Blanchette. I have 39 years service with the Artillery Regiment, 1 RCHA, 5 RRLC, RCH School, 2 Field, 6 Field Regiment.
My name is Steve Mercer. I was with the Royal Canadian Dragoons, Canada's senior Reg Force Armoured Regiment, for 20 years.
My name is Eric Fortin. I was in the Army for 19 years. For the first 7 years, I was armoured. In the last 12, I was an ammo tech.
The traumatic events soldiers and first responders face on a daily basis can leave lasting scars, both physically and mentally. Through fly fishing, Heroes Mending on the Fly Canada provides a unique form of therapy.
I was fishing on and off since I was a kid, I guess, and I never really put too much effort into it until 5 years ago when I discovered this program and I learned fly fishing. It just gets me to not think, I guess. I think a lot about, fly presentation, how to defeat fish, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it is a really therapeutic thing for ex-veterans, and probably for anybody in general, but I equate it to wind therapy. I ride a motorcycle as well, so when I need to get out and just be by myself, I go for a ride. It's the same as fishing. Only with fishing, you can go out with a buddy, you can go out with somebody you don't even know. You can go out with another veteran. And it's like you've known them for your whole life. After the introductions, it's just like you've known them for your whole life. You talk about a lot of similar stuff, but you talk about a lot of family stuff, and it just gives you the time to relax, and if you catch a fish, so be it, but if you don't, doesn't matter.
For me, I don't know if it's so much about decompressing as it is about having a focus. It's very hard for me to focus. I play guitar, which I just learned to do. My son's teaching me. And I find fishing just like that. It's the concentration that makes you forget about the other stuff that you're thinking about all the time. To get out on a boat, to have the peace, the tranquility, just you and somebody else. Luckily, my wife loves to fish. She loves coming out with me. And it's a great family thing to do, regardless of all the other stuff. Just to feel that peace of mind when you're out there, there's no other worries in the world other than, did the fish get away? That's the biggest worry you have to worry about that day. So fishing is, it gives you peace of mind.
It's a great weekend. It's a weekend away from the rustle and tussle, right? You're out in the water, you're in the fresh air, you're with good people, good food, good stories, being there for each other like you should always be. Just all around good idea, and highly recommended personally. Anyone with PTSD, it's the way to be.
For host Colin McEwen, this event is significant. As a former member of the Canadian Navy and a lifelong fly fishing enthusiast, he understands how the sport can help mend the body and the mind. He and many others offer their time and expertise for the cause.
The project Heroes Mending on the Fly is actually geared towards helping the veterans suffering from PTSD through fly fishing and flying tying sessions. And also we're doing outings as well through trying to help them through natures.
It started out just by accident, actually, and it's a great opportunity for us to give back. So it started with Muskies Canada reaching out to the military and asking us if we would host, and the program in the last 3 years has just grown. So we're now working with Heroes Mending on the Fly this weekend and other groups within the military.
Well, I've been with the Wonder Warrior last year, and I helped with Soldier On last weekend, and I said that this is a great way for me and for the veteran to give back to them, to get them to enjoy life again.
Legion helps veterans with funding for events like this, along with very many other. Last year in Ontario, $2.7 million was donated from the Legion to veteran programs. So financially, we support. We also have 395 Legion branches in Ontario that are welcoming to veterans and places where they can go and talk to comrades that they may have served with or otherwise. The Legion's mission is to support veterans and their families. No better way can we support missions than to have that mission, than to have veterans and their spouses out fly fishing and helping them with everyday life.
I own Williams Outfitters, operated fishing guide service in the area here. Leslie got me into it a couple years ago, and it's really good giving back to the veterans. We wouldn't be allowed to do what we do out here on an everyday basis. I wouldn't be able to have the dream job I have without the sacrifices those guys and men and women make. So,
always looking for ways to give back to the community, to people in general at large. We would like people to patronize us, so we try to invest in the community and the surroundings around us. And when we were approached to support this event, this is a much broader and more meaningful contribution that we can make in just a small little way. To be part of this event is really great, and hopefully it's a thank you for the service and thank you for the sacrifices that all these members have made.
I work at a vacuum forming plant in Burlington, Ontario, and I like coming out here whenever they call for my help. I think it's a good thing to get these guys out and get their minds off troubles in the past.
Fly fishing. What is it about this so-called quiet sport? With its incantation of rod and fly, river and nature, a sport of both stealth and strategy that helps to lessen stress and calm the brain. According to Dr. Herbert Benson, fly fishing turns off stress by breaking the train of everyday thinking. A 2008 study published in the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine found that more than half of the study participants who practiced this relaxation response experienced a drop in blood pressure values after 8 weeks, and 50% of those who practiced the technique were able to have their dosages of blood pressure medication lowered. With its meditative-like repetitive motion, Dr. Benson says fly fishing is a beautiful way of evoking the relaxation response. It is well known that fly fishing is a natural stress reliever because fly anglers are surrounded by nature, unplugged from electronics, and distanced from the so-called real world, or perhaps even memories of past stress caused by combat. That notion is buttressed by a 2009 study by a team of researchers from several universities and Veterans Affairs. In their study involving combat veterans, they found that participants had significant reductions in stress and post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms and improvements in sleep quality after participating in a fly fishing retreat. Fly fishing has been compared to meditation in that fly fishers perform a simple, repeated task, often for hours on end. The motion of fly fishing is part and parcel of the activity itself and may contribute to its calming effect, says Benson. Besides, it's achieving something. You might catch a fish.
This one, we got one.
Got one?
Yeah, here. No, he's off. Yeah. Well, I'm excited because we just had 2 fish on, but we both lost both of them actually. But so I was kind of thinking they might be biting on the troll today since they weren't eating on the cast. So we'll make a run back through there again, obviously, and we'll see if we can get those 2, or maybe there's others. I know along that shoreline over there is actually the money trolling run, so we'll see if we can pick one up on the way back through.
Scotsman Point Resort has been a part of the Kawartha Lakes region since 1920. With 25 cottages on 12 acres and great muskie, pickerel, and bass fishing, they are the perfect location for this event.
We kind of take care of all of the logistics. So we'll coordinate their entire weekend. I worked with Gervais to coordinate the veterans coming in. So we'll have a combination this weekend of fishing, and then we introduce some experiential tourism. So they'll be foraging, they'll be building things, creating things, and giving them lots of opportunity throughout the entire weekend. So we put that all together for them. It gives them an opportunity to meet like-minded, which is very important, and particularly in their profession because of the isolation that they feel. And every time we do this, there are just breakthroughs that we can experience, that we see from them in their conversations. They met this when they haven't seen each other since they were in Germany. And it allows them to connect now on home ground because everybody's just coming within a distance to communicate easily. So it's a great opportunity for networking and gets them out. An incredibly good field event. One I wish more would actually participate in because the feeling of what that means when it's translated at the end is incredible because it does work. We see evidence of it from when they begin to when they finish, and it works.
Heroes Mending on the Fly Canada isn't just about fishing, it's about community. In addition to being on the water, there are also fly tying classes, drum circles, bonfires, and of course, a fish dinner.
My grandfather taught me years ago how to do shore lunches, and I kind of carried it on. So yeah, I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy when people enjoy what I cook. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it was a great meal last night. I think anyways. I'm bipartisan because I'm the chef, but yeah.
It's not just the veterans and first responders who benefit from this event. Spouses are welcome too, and many find it equally as helpful.
My name is Natasha O'Brien, and I'm married to Jamie Vivine. We've been married for 20 years now. He was in the service when we got married. I've had some interesting experiences, and so for Jamie, the fly fishing has been wonderful because it's allowed him to get out into the community and feel like he has a purpose when he's volunteering. And we just recently started going out a couple of times together so that we've had that chance to connect a little bit more now as well. This is the first event that I've actually gone to with Jamie. And I think just that ability to connect with the other spouses, and just for me, when I see the other spouses, I think, I think about their experiences, some of my own I can think about as well, and just wondering if they've, how they're feeling, how they're doing. And I haven't had a chance to really talk to anyone yet, but maybe tonight around the campfire, a little bit more connecting. Sometimes I feel a little bit like, spouses, it is quite a significant experience to be married to someone with PTSD, and in some regards, that war experience as well. I'm totally disconnected, so I don't really have a good understanding of that experience. But yet, I've had to see someone sort of live through that, and so I think for the spouses to sort of have some recognition in a way as well, that it is a very challenging experience for the families. And so for people to support it and be able to, make these experiences for us so that we can also come together and just feel like we've had these opportunities to reflect. I know the acknowledgement, I know it, I feel almost badly saying that you want acknowledgement, but for me, sometimes I feel like there is a lack of recognition of how challenging it is for the families.
We don't know if we don't live it, but with kids, it's really hard, yes, because they have to go, and sometimes we don't know much of time before they go, but we have to do everything. And I don't take a lot of time for me and do nothing. And this morning, that was very nice. I like fly fishing, but I'm beginner. But it's nice to be in this place with water and no stress.
The impetus behind Heroes Mending on the Fly Canada is to use the positive psychological and physical aspects provided by the sport of fly fishing to help alleviate the psychological and physical pains of our country's wounded veterans. How in the world can we even begin to replicate the service and sacrifice of these men and women, and even begin to express the proper gratitude? One answer: become involved in Heroes Mending on the Fly as a volunteer or a donor. It's a small sacrifice made for those who have sacrificed so much for us all.
Heroes Mending on the Fly is an organization that's based on volunteers. All our people that work with veterans are volunteers. We don't pay them, they don't ask for money. It's all voluntary times that they give to the veterans. Either teaching fly tying, teaching casting, coming out with us at the outings, like supplying boats, supplying guides, advising how to use their equipment. It's all volunteers. And This program cannot survive without any volunteers. We're always seeking to have volunteers to come and help us out. We're looking into open up more programs across Canada. And without the volunteers, we cannot do anything.
I would say get involved and do your part. It's a pretty rewarding thing overall. It's good to see it. It's even better if you can actually get people on fish, but that doesn't always happen, as we're finding out so far today. But it's coming, I hope.
It is one of the only opportunities in this field that we are able to give back to those who served. And I wish more that could do this and reach out, because it is a great opportunity for us to give back to those who are looking for a place to just connect.
It's nice to give back, obviously, but this is a really great cause. Like I said, we wouldn't be allowed to live freely here without the sacrifices men and women make for us, and we really appreciate that. So it's good to give back to those kind of causes.
So if somebody who hasn't been injured, can step forward, they can help just by getting us out on the water, by organizing these kind of events and getting us out. Volunteer with some of the local chapters, teaching fly tying or casting, or just donating to the cause.
The first thing I would say is, from my experience, nothing is too small. Sometimes we get trapped in thinking that I can't make a contribution because there's just no way I can help. Nothing that would be material enough to make a difference. And from what I've learned in participating in this kind of event is everything makes a difference, and that contribution. And so when you're thinking about whether you want to participate in something like this, think about what you do and what you can contribute, and you will come up with something that you can make a difference for.
I don't think it's a question. Everybody in civilian life and all kinds of life, you have to volunteer. It's what Canada is. I don't think Canada would be Canada without having the volunteers that we have in all of our walks of life. For sure, whether it's your church, whether it's your Legion, or whether it's Heroes Mending on the Fly, it's volunteers it's the lifeblood of Canada.
It's important for volunteers to help out with with any sort of event like this for many reasons. Probably the most pointed reason, though, is the sacrifice that vets such as myself or any of the guys who are here, they've sacrificed so much of themselves just to get to this point. And when you leave the service, the sacrifice doesn't stop. The sacrifice continues to, especially if you end up with PTSD or something along those lines, the sacrifice just continues to grow. And by coming to an event like this, it is the area where they get to finally relax a little bit, and they can open up about their issues and talk with that sort of stuff. And that goes a very, very long way towards healing a little bit, healing them. In this case, healing with their spouses or significant others, whoever it happens to be. It's such a worthy cause for this, and there are lots of worthy causes out there, but this one, you're directly supporting anybody who donates time or donates property or a boat or a facility like this resort. You're going so far in helping that sort of healing and maybe making a difference in somebody's life.
The new Fly Fisher is made possible in partnership with Destination Ontario, Orvis Fly Fishing, Trout Unlimited, Rio Products, Oscar Blues Brewery, Global Rescue, Adipose Boatworks, WeatherTech Canada.